We are recording. Everyone say hi to YouTube. This collective will make its way to YouTube. I'm feeling I'm feeling it's just for YouTube tonight. Oh, excuse me. All right, guys, let's get into this. I'm taking my eyes off. I don't need to see anymore. Thank you. Let's see. What's going on with the collective tonight? What does the collective need to hear? What's the tea? What's the hot gossip? Ooh, that was fast. Okay. I can tell you this is not where I expected the reading to go. Okay. We are talking about all of your emotionally unavailable fathers tonight. Um, I interesting. Again, not where I expected it to go, but let's dive in, I guess. Bottom of the deck is your challenge, as we know. It's the dad wound tonight. We've got the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, so mom's here too, and the Ace of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles is there as well. A lot of you guys for the challenge, like, the challenge is almost feeling like, how do I say this? Neutrality in the eyes of evil is evil. So for a lot of you guys here, your issue, your challenge is that while you're looking at the father wound, emotionally negligent, emotionally abusive father, we're also dealing with the mother wound of, well, you're not there for me. You didn't stick up for me. You're not supporting me. So it feels like this kind of like two-pronged assault on like the psyche almost, because you've got a parent that's aggressive, and then you've got another parent who's a wallflower. Keep in mind, when we talk about the father wound and the mother wound, this is not gender specific. I was raised by two women. I'm sure there are people out here raised by two men, grandparents, but it's indicative of the masculine versus the feminine energy. A lot of you had a masculine energy in your life that was more aggressive, a little bit more demanding is the word I'm hearing, and then the feminine energy was more so just enabler is how I'm hearing this, like an enabler, just, oh yeah, do it, that's fine. So now we're kind of, the challenge is that for a lot of you, as you look at the dad wound, you also kind of get introduced to another aspect of the mother wound. So let's talk about it. You start with the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is childhood right off the bat. Six of Cups is the childhood. Ten of Pentacles is the family unit. Something I need to remind you guys of is, as children, we don't, even if you, the way I'm hearing this is like, even if you were ill behaved, you don't deserve abusive parents. And I think a lot of you guys here are, you are confusing discipline and abuse. There's a very clear line between like, oh, I need to discipline myself and I'm going to degrade myself, right? We can make it really obvious. You guys know I've struggled with eating disorders in my life. I'll make this really obvious. Disciplining myself is like, I refuse to count calories. Degrading myself would be like, oh, you're disgusting unless you work out. That's the difference here. But for a lot of you, this gets a little muddy because you're looking at the parents, right? So it's like, how do you discipline a child? There are consequences. Maybe we take away an iPad, an iPhone, you know, you take away a privilege, and then there's abusing a child, which looks like bringing their self-esteem down, bringing their worth down, telling them that they're stupid, telling them that they're worthless. And so a lot of you guys have this wire crossed of like, well, was I being disciplined or was I actually being abused? Like reprimand versus abuse here. Because you've got the Emperor and you've also got the Page of Wands in the reverse. For a lot of you, this also came in a tunnel of like, how do I say this? What you like is stupid. You know, a lot of the abuse here, maybe it wasn't physical for a lot of you, but it came from this world of, well, the things that you do are dumb, the things that you like are stupid, and there's no point in enjoying the things that you enjoy because there's no point in them in general. So there's almost like a, this is harsh. It's like if some of you could write a book, the title would need to be My Parents Were My First Bullies. Because that's what this is like you're learning here. It's like, how do I say this? Like you learned to be a victim. It's like learned victimhood. You know, you can't stick up for yourself. You can't talk about this. You can't bring that up. Like the only thing you can do is learn that you're wrong here. Yeah, Three of Wands. And I feel like this is coming up now because I think a lot of you guys are trying to make moves in your current life. Five of Wands. It's like you're trying to... I'm hearing traverse. So some of you could be looking to move with the traverse. Yeah, Nine of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. It feels like some of you guys are trying to... The end goal here is happiness, right? The end goal here is a life in which you can be unadulterated, unfiltered, happy. And free. And so it feels like as you guys are chasing this goal, you're also kind of trying to heal. It's like trying to be proactive. You know, the example my guides are giving me is so funny. Let's say it's the end of the world apocalypse with the zombies. Like you're trying to run from zombies, but you're also trying to stockpile food. Do you know what I mean? It's like you guys are tackling some like very big things at the same time. And it's a bit much, right? But I feel like what you guys need to understand here is that, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, it's understanding that when someone is a bully, it's a reflection about how they feel about themselves. You know, so a lot of you guys that had parents like this was, obviously it doesn't make it okay, but a reflection of their own internal belief system, right? And I feel like with this Three of Wands and the Five of Wands, I think you guys also need to be a little bit more gentle with yourselves here. You can't expect to come out of a family unit system like this and just snap your fingers and be okay. You know, there are going to be setbacks. Healing is really messy. So I feel like a lot of your advice right now is like, as you're tackling these like big topics, be graceful, be kind, show yourself a little bit more empathy than you normally would here. Yeah, Four of Cups. I feel like some of you guys, you repeat the process when you self-abandon. You know, when you're going through a tough time and you tell yourself, oh, I'm just not trying hard enough. Why are we abandoning ourselves there? You know, why are we... The way my guides are saying this to me is like participating in the language, in the abusive language. That's what you guys need to think about here. In your clarification row, you have the Hermit in the reverse and the Magician. I think something else that's coming up for a lot of you is that you're going to have to leave the nest. I don't know what that means for you, but like it may be literal, it may not be. I think a lot of you guys like you find comfort in the trauma because it's familiar. It's what you're used to. Leaving the nest, I think, is not only metaphorical, but it's going to be physical for a lot of you. Maybe you're leaving home, you're leaving the state you were born in, the town you're in, whatever it is. And that has its own sort of challenges, right? Because I feel like with the Hermit in the reverse, some of you guys are, how do I say that? This is really harsh how my guides are giving this to me. Subservient to your belief system. And so it's like if your belief system is that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not resourceful enough, you're gonna kind of be like a slave to that belief system, right? Don't quote the exact thought that I had last night. That's crazy. That's crazy, Puff. Damn. You know, I feel like with the High Priestess here and the Chariot, some of you are contemplating, like, contact, like, whether this is no contact, limited contact, some sort of, like, negotiation about contact here. Let's get some clarifiers in this row. King of Pentacles. Yeah, some of you are also working on your money right now. King of Cups. Eight of Cups. Say it again. I really don't know who's getting a swing at them with this one. You have an emotional dependency on money? Or, like, you need to look at your emotional dependency on money? I feel like this might be about some of you maybe, like, retail therapy. That's what this is, like, kind of feeling like to me. Obviously, if we're struggling with money issues, it will impact our mental health. That's true. That's just, like, a known fact. But some of you may, like, your own feelings of yourself and your own emotional landscape may actually be determined based on money? Or, like, how much money you're making? Yeah, the Hierophant. I would just be a little bit, pick this apart a little bit, right? I would get into this one a little bit, guys. I'm not, they're not giving me too much information about this, but there's something here about you guys, like, you rely too much on money for your own emotional satisfaction. I don't really have a better word. Like I said, this is a very nuanced conversation because money does affect us. We live in capitalism. We're in a huge recession right now for those of us in the States. You know, money will affect your mood, but I think some of you, your emotional, you just depend on it a little bit too much, okay? Just be careful with that. Dig into it a little bit. And enough with the retail therapy. I just heard really loud. You had a bad day. Doesn't mean you have to buy something. Yeah, Judgment, Six of Swords, Queen of Cups, and Justice in the reverse. Why is Justice in the reverse here, please? This is an ugly one. I feel like we've talked about this one. I'm sure you guys are going to recognize this as soon as I say it, but it doesn't make it any easier. Some of you guys are spending too much time worrying about the karma that these people are going to get for how they treated you instead of just moving on your merry way. I'm going to say this to you guys with my whole chest. Sometimes we do not get to see karma play out. In fact, most times we are not going to see the people get their karma for what they've done to us. You have to be able to give yourself closure here, okay? You have to find a way to start focusing on the act of moving forward, moving on, without needing that front row movie theater seat with popcorn of someone getting their karma. It's just not going to happen. You know, I think for a lot of you, this is it plays on a trust issue. It's like you don't trust the universe to take care of this for you. You got to start trusting a little bit, babe. You got to trust that the universe will sort this out for you, that these people will get what's coming to them. Oh, that's a good way to put it. My guides are giving me. Your job in this life is to live your life. Your job is not to execute. Okay? You're not here to be judge, jury, executioner for someone that's done you wrong. You're here to simply survive it, heal from it, and then move on. But the thing is, with the Eight of Swords here, if you guys are always staying in that place of, yeah, like, I need to see it, I need the proof, you're always going to be stuck in that same place. Yeah, Eight of Swords, Five of Swords, Ace of Swords. This is all mental for a lot of you. This is like you doing mental gymnastics to keep yourself stuck. Okay, with the Five of Swords and the Ace of Swords, something you guys need to also start having a serious conversation with yourself about is how much of my actions are motivated by self-sabotage. Ooh, that's okay. My guides are really coming for y'all tonight. This is a journal prompt. It's a difficult one. Let me preface it with that. I would be aghast if Tuha gave this to me as homework. I don't know where I would even start. Y'all, you need to journal about what the difference in your mind is between karma and revenge. I think this is coming up as a very poignant time because literally of what we talked about in my own therapy session today. For you guys, and for me, for everyone, revenge is different. Revenge and karma are two very separate principles for me, but some of you need to think about that as well. What's the difference between karma and revenge? You know, how much of your actions is motivated by actually wanting to move on versus wanting to get payback? Okay? Let's get you an oracle card. You know, and then my guides are saying, and then if you're figuring out, okay, I am motivated by payback, you know, the way my guides are saying this is like tough. If I do wish to see someone suffer, where does that come from? Is that a healthy response? Is it going to help me heal? Or is it like anger coming on the scene because it's easier to feel than what's actually going on underneath it? My bet is that it's easier to feel that thirst for revenge than what you're actually feeling at the time. All right, let's see. What's the advice for this collective, please? Thank you. Aren't we in an eclipse right now? That's so weird. You guys got two. I'll read them to you. So the first one is on brand with what we talked about. It's Sachiel, Angel of Coin. Let me find it for you. Sachiel. It's number 59 for those of us into numerology. Okay. Now may be a time to be wary in your dealings. It's important to understand who has your interests at heart. It's worth asking yourself if someone in your life may stand to gain from your misfortune. Your power to refuse is always your own. Accept that power with seriousness, and you can stand firm against those who wish to use you as leverage for their own ends. Well, that's on brand. And then you also got Sachiel, Angel of the Eclipse, which I think is poignant during eclipse season. I think this is really making a statement. I think we also got him last collective, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. It's number 35. Okay. Something powerful is set to disappear soon. The light will still be there, but you won't have access to it for a time. Keeping the faith when the world is cold can be hard, but it's a worthy cause. Trapped in the moment of an eclipse can feel like a place apart from the rest of reality, but it's just an illusion. Interesting. Interesting. What's keeping us stuck? Who's keeping us stuck? Guys, that's your collective night. I'm going to end that there. I think I think those oracle cards are very on the nose. I don't think I need to elaborate on that for you. But I leave you guys with this. If you are watching this on YouTube, I hope to see you over here on Twitch one day. We are fun and fabulous when we're not getting beat up by the collective. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.